All right, and we're live with another episode of Quarantine at Harvard. Oh my god. Okay, so it has been absolutely a hectic week so far, and spoiler, alert, it's the first day of week 2. And it's been a tough time, I think, for all of us to assimilate. So I kind of wanted to start off with your guys' initial thoughts on week 2 at Harvard. Anything that's overwhelming, underwhelming, if that's even possible. For me, it's like underestimating the reading. Absolutely. 90 pages of reading is not what it sounds like. It's not like I don't know what I was expecting, like, like 90 pages of Captain Underpants, but like 90 pages of academic reading is like it's a fat stack. But for you guys, I'm just curious, what has struck you like the hardest this past few hours and the first start of this week 2?
Brad, if you want to go ahead.
Sure. For me, it's just been getting into a routine. The first week, I made it a goal for myself to wake up at 8 a.m. every day because I have 9 a.m. classes every day except Tuesday. So, and I was like starting to get into a routine where I'd wake up, work out, get breakfast, shower, and then like eat during the start of my 9 a.m. class. And it was fine. And then this morning, I didn't have any 9 a.m. classes. My first class was at 12. And so I like tried to stick to that and just could not. I didn't even get out of bed until 10 and didn't work out at all. So
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
getting on like stuck on a schedule, like especially with no one else here to like keep me
Accountable.
like hold me accountable for when I'm
Yeah.
not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. It's definitely been a lot harder this week.
Yeah,
No,
for
I
sure.
don't really feel that. And like in addition to that, for me, I guess, I was recently on a Zoom call with my coaches, my golf coaches, and so they were like, "How are you practicing? What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just trying to practice in my dorm." And so I'm in Winthrop House, and so I've been
Me
going
too.
outside into the courtyard with my golf clubs, literally just hacking at the grass, and
I can
uh,
attest to that. I've seen you at my windows.
it's so embarrassing because I feel so bad. I don't know who it was, but somebody walked out with their lunch, and I think they probably wanted to eat outside in the courtyard. But then they saw me swinging, and I waved, and then they just went back through the door. And I feel so bad. But
Oh
yeah.
man.
What you gonna do?
So yep. So my difficult thing has just been trying to practice without actually having a place to practice.
Yeah, I love that. Like in any circumstance other than quarantine, you'll never see a student in the courtyard of Winthrop hacking away at
Oh my
grass
god.
with their golf club. That's a once in a century thing that will ever happen at Harvard. I feel like.
Oh, I mean, it's not as bad for me, but with my music stuff, because I'm taking online music classes too, like I've had to turn, oh, I shouldn't say this, but I turned one of the spare bedrooms into a music practice room, and
Mhm.
we weren't supposed to use those rooms, but whatever. And I just feel bad for my roommates because they have to hear me like pretty much yelling for 2 hours a day, just
Yeah.
bothering them. It's
No.
really
Yeah.
weird.
Hmm.
I was pretty sure that like they'd give us a practice space or something, but no, they're like use your dorm.
No,
Yeah.
but even on top of that, they were like, use your dorm, but then at the same time, they were like, you shouldn't be practicing your music and stuff. You should be quiet, right? And or I like no. I see the concern on your face. No, but
I was like, what do you guys want me to do? Like I'm getting graded for if I practice or not too. So like what
exactly.
do you
Right,
want?
right. Yeah.
I'm
So
getting some mixed signals, honestly.
Hmm.
right.
Yeah. And I've actually seen this in my dorm as well. There's someone who plays the flute down in my entryway, or at least the hallway. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, same thing. Like with the absence of music rooms to practice in, you have to adapt, and in some circumstances the places to adapt are imperfect. But yeah, for so Brad, to clarify, you have a dual you're in a dual program, right, with Berkeley.
Yeah, Berkeley College of Music in Boston.
Hmm. Yeah, and how is that like, especially with the context of quarantine?
So I haven't had any classes with them yet. My first one's gonna be on Thursday. I was supposed to have one on Monday, but it was Labor Day, and I'm kind of anticipating that it's gonna end up being a lot of work. But I figured no better time to try it out than when there's literally no other extracurriculars to do. So,
Hmm.
I'm really excited because for me, it's always been a dream to go to music school. But then at the same time, like I've always wanted to go to a liberal arts college. So to be able to do both is kind of a dream come true.
Mm.
And it's like a super unique and new thing. It's only like 3 or 4 years old, the dual degree program with Berkeley. So I'm super excited, but I'm definitely anticipating it's going to be a lot of work. Good thing is there's no transportation this year because like the in-person classes are canceled over there too. So I
Right.
save an hour of transportation time this semester every
Mhm.
day.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one thing that's curious because like for me as well, like in normal, I'm not part of any like official varsity team or like official music program, but like in any other circumstance, I if for instance if COVID didn't exist, I would probably be on the Harvard Club Swim, right? Which would take up additional time of my day. But given that it does not really exist, yeah, we have like Zoom workouts, but no, they don't really like work. But at least for now, it like opens doors to other possibilities. And I think for you, Brad, it's the biggest thing is you don't have to like travel to Berkeley to take classes. It becomes very streamlined.
Yeah, there's definitely like th- there's al- there's always a blessing hidden within the curse. The curse being that there's no in-person music classes, which like defeats half the point of taking music classes in the first place because it's so good to just be in the physical space with an ensemble and
Oh,
hear them.
yeah.
Mhm.
And like I've never taken online voice lessons. I didn't take voice lessons at all this past year.
Oh,
I'm a
wow.
singer, like to get that out there.
Hmm.
So I'm kind of excited to see how it's gonna work. I've heard that they online voice lessons are great from some of my friends, but the ensembles is definitely gonna be a struggle online. But like you said, I get to skip an hour of transportation, so it's nice.
Mm. Yeah, and I'm curious as well. I'm gonna jump this over to Melissa too, but I'm curious because like for me, I comped the CBE organization, which is Consulting in Business and Environment. I would think like in normal circumstances, I would never go into consulting. Like that was just something I never would have considered. But given that consulting is like very virtually like transposable, like I feel like if we go back home for second semester, I think I can carry on like working with CBE
Oh,
pretty easily. Like I'm wondering like if how much that changes people's like pathways because like I would never like what if I love CBE and like end up doing consulting right?
yeah.
Um, in any normal year, I would never even have considered it and therefore I would never have considered going into consulting. So I'm wondering like how many Harvard students might like fundamentally change their pathways because of the decisions made in quarantine.
Yeah,
Have you
no.
guys made any decisions like that so far that like specifically has been imposed by quarantine?
Yeah, I mean, like, I can speak for myself and for a friend of mine. For me, I guess personally, it's slightly different. It's more so that I don't have to worry about in person practices for like my golf team or tournaments or traveling as much, and
Uh,
so there I have like more time to do something else that I'm interested in, such as like I applied for the first year social committee, and I think we find out about that next week. So in ordinary circumstances, like I just would not have time for that, and so I wouldn't do it. But I guess like also, but like going more on like what you were kind of saying, like I have a friend, her name is Paula, and she said she was just so extremely bored because of quarantine that she like comped like almost like probably like a total of 10 different organizations. And I was just like, Paula, like what are you doing? Like you're not gonna have time for this. It's just like, and I was bored, and I feel like that's just like a result of quarantine. Like she wasn't necessarily interested in these things, but like again, like you said, they're so compatible with like the virtual format that she just like went for it anyways.
mhm.
For me, it's kind of the opposite, I guess. Like, I was really looking forward to like trying all these new things, and I guess just reflecting on myself, like instead of doing that, now I just double down on the things that I'm more comfortable with.
Oh,
Um, and with like promising myself that I get to explore all these new areas next year.
Mhm.
Um,
yeah.
which I don't know if that's just a reflection on my style, but
No, I mean, I
that's
kind of
what
did
I
that with
did.
classes. Yeah.
Yes, I would say classes for sure. Yeah, I'm curious to know how many students like have that same mindset, Brad. Like treating this year almost right as like a weird interim year that not that it doesn't count, but it counts differently. Right? Like for instance, I did not take a language class this year specifically for the reason that I feel like language is in-person language classes are kind of necessary.
Oh, I completely agree, but I still am taking one.
Yeah, yeah, that's a clear cut example of me making a decision for my academics explicitly because of quarantine and COVID. And like I'm wondering like how many people have made such decisions as well, and like how, like if you were to, obviously you can't do this perfectly, right? But like if you were to compare you, if you had 4 normal years of Harvard versus you with 1 year of COVID COVID Harvard, like how different would those two people be? And especially as freshmen, where as they all say, your first years are most formative, and your first year dictates the rest of your
Mm.
3 years, right? Like, you know, I don't know if I'm scared, but I'm certainly curious to know like how much would I have been different without this year, you know? Um, but regarding virtual formats, and I guess as well as like boredom, because I know the rise of a very particular app has been attributed to people's boredom in quarantine. Now, that's been TikTok.
Yeah.
And I'm no expert in TikTok. I've actually only recently downloaded like a couple weeks ago, but we do have an expert in the room. We do have an
I
expert
It's
in
not
the
me. It's
room.
not me.
I would not call myself an expert,
Well,
but thank you.
by process of elimination, Melissa and I are not TikTok stars. One of us is, and Brad, like even if you don't attribute that to yourself, I mean, I'm sure you have had a very, personal relationship with the app, and
You could say
yeah.
that.
And you mentioned something interesting that I think, not that I disagree with, but I know that some people do. You say that like, I ask you, what are some things that society got right, and you said that you think TikTok has been a huge force for good in 2020.
Yeah, I
And
do.
can you elaborate on that a little bit?
I mean, when I think of social media, I don't think of like TikTok seems to me the only social media that's just for our generation. Like when you're on Facebook or you're on Instagram, like they're here are adults running this stuff, but TikTok gives um this like opportunity for nobodies like me to rise to the public view, and they're all it's a Gen Z in an app. There's no like adults in our way, and I think it's uniting our generation. Like you see Trump getting mad at like Gen Z for booking all the tickets to the rally. Like where else, how else would that have been possible this year?
Uh-huh.
um Also, I just feel like this year, especially when we were all trapped in our homes, it was my way of like knowing that other people were going through the same thing and feeling okay about that.
Mm.
um so yeah, I do think, like, this is gonna sound crazy, but I feel like TikTok is as monumental in 2020 as the coronavirus outbreak. Like, I think it
Yeah.
spread faster than coronavirus too. If you
Oh,
think,
yeah, for
Whoa.
sure.
we're gonna go there.
Ooh,
Like, look at like
another.
let's see the numbers. Like, how many people have coronavirus versus how many people have
Oh
TikTok.
my god.
So, but
Um,
it's not like another pandemic that's going on. It's a force of good.
I think it's a force of good for sure.
Mm. Yeah, because I know some people might attribute it to like, oh, it's like something that sucks up our attention, and but I would agree as well. Like for me, my favorite channels that I don't know if they're called channels, but like profiles. There's one called Hybrid Calisthenics that like talks about like how to like improve your form and
Oh.
stuff. Right. There's a bunch of educational ones, and there's another one that like explains financial decisions. Like, oh, you shouldn't get into
oh.
penny stocks because they're trash. And I think that's true for everything. Like Twitter, for example, is a great impersonation of, if you follow the right people, it's a great platform. But if you follow certain other people, it becomes a very toxic environment, right? Would you say that the same thing for TikTok? Because I'm sure there are people who make insensitive jokes and you
Mm.
know like racist remarks. I know a bunch of people got like canceled over their TikToks that
Yeah,
talked about.
cancel culture is is definitely huge.
Right.
Um, I don't know the algorithm. So for people that don't use TikTok, pretty much there's an algorithm that's tailored to each person, and like it definitely steals your data, but I don't care. Um, like and it pretty much figures out exactly what you like and don't like within a few hours of just using it, and gets you. So that's why people are arguing about different sides of TikTok and like trying to get on other sides. But it's pretty much based on the videos that you're more likely to keep watching and more
Mm.
likely to like. And so for me, like when I'm when I'm scrolling on my For You page, and then or I see my brother scrolling on his For You page or my friend scrolling on her For You page, like they're completely different apps, honestly.
Right.
So it definitely gives you what you want to see, and you have the power to change that if that's not what you want to see, without
Mm.
even trying.
Yeah, I suppose. But like again, algorithms have proven so much time and again to like really know who we are, and the things that they recommend to us just are addicting, right? But
Mm-hmm.
For you, so like you make TikToks mainly in singing, right? Singing and duets. Is that the
Well,
terminology?
okay, so that's okay. That was like that was like a phase, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, an era.
It
Yeah.
like it became my brand. So pretty much, I made like a couple in January and February, and then during March, I started like making a few singing ones that like blew up. So I started making those every couple days or like every day. And then I kind of got bored of that after like a month or two, and now I just make random things that pop in my head, and I'm not really active anymore. But I definitely am still on the singing side of TikTok. Like, I bet if I wait, is our video gonna be on this? Because I bet if I scroll, like most of them will be.
Most of singing.
Wait, this is so embarrassing. Actually, I'm not gonna show this. But like, here's a singing one.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I can't show you. This is the most embarrassing thing ever. Here's another singing one. Like, I get a lot of singing ones, and just like stupid, chaotic videos.
Right. Yeah.
Chaos is my other brand.
Yeah. I would say Chaos is the Gen Z brand. Would you agree with that?
Sure. I agree. I love chaos. I think it's so funny.
Interesting. Um, okay, I just a quick side question because I'm just curious. So, like your stints with virality,
Okay.
like how
I
did
don't know
that
what stint
feel?
means. What does
No,
that
no,
mean?
well, like virality, like when you said like it blows up, right? When like
Okay.
you get like well, I don't know what your most liked TikTok is, but like can you describe to me like your emotions as you went viral for the first time, or if you remember?
Yeah. Like, this is gonna sound so bad, but like it makes you happy for the entire day. Um, I mean, the draw of the app, like I feel like the reason a lot of people get it is because like anyone can go viral.
Yeah,
Like, even
yeah.
if like some like you could have 0 followers and get more likes on your video than someone with millions of followers.
Hmm.
Um, and I guess the first time I had like a okay, literally, I got a video with 300 likes one day, and like that was the highlight of my day. And like I couldn't stop like refreshing to see if it would have another like every
Yeah,
time I
yeah.
refresh, and like checking the comments, and like people would always say positive things. Like, and it had 300 likes, and now if I got 300 likes, I would cry. So like, um, like, so it's actually weird how relative it is because
Yeah.
well, like if I had the same amount of followers I had like when I thought I had a lot versus now, I think it was like a little. Like, it's really weird.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
but the feeling when it goes viral, like I had a video that has like 4 million likes, and I got like over 100K followers within 24 hours just from that one video, and it
Oh
was
my
like
god.
weird, like I like couldn't stop just like refreshing and like seeing like 100 new comments every time I refresh, and they were all like nice things, and it was just like it's just crazy to feel seen, I guess.
Mhm.
Um, like to know that other people are seeing you because everyone dreams of like being famous or something, but it can
Right.
actually make it a reality just for like 15 minutes. Um, yeah, and I just it's a nice feeling for sure.
Yeah.
And I think
Well,
that's why a lot of people are drawn to it.
mhm. I was gonna ask Melissa because like I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this as well. But our group me, obviously we're not like talking about 4 million likes, but like sometimes when you like say like a really quirky comment and get like 17, I would say like 17 plus likes in our Crimson Crew group me is like a lot, right?
Oh, that's
And
the dream.
the rush of
Yeah.
dopamine you get when like your fellow peers like something that you said. Um, maybe to throw out a theory, right? Like during quarantine, we've obviously been limited to our interactions with our friends, and maybe that like feeling of I'm being appreciated becomes like hyperbolized almost during quarantine. Like, man, people appreciate me, or like, oh, I know other people are watching me. Maybe in a non-COVID circumstance, that's like less so, but especially now where people are literally deprived of interaction, maybe that makes it like even more. Because I certainly felt when I got 17 likes in my group meet comment, yo, I went off. I felt great. Like I think I commented about like Dean Karana during the
Oh,
commencement thing, and I got like 17 instantly, and then like trickled up, and I was like tapping a
Yes.
thing and seeing the people who did like it. I was like, oh my
Okay.
god. Yeah.
I mean, I think for me personally, I'm not sure about the like non-COVID versus COVID relation, but I think that it's like, like if I post something on Instagram, like I expect my friends to like it. Like I'm gonna like all my friends' posts too. So like for that, I feel like it's kind of normalized in a way. But then like
Yeah.
with the group me, like these are all people like that I just have recently met or that I probably don't know super well, but like I kind of know them. And so like when I'm like when in that moment when you get like I think the highest I've gotten is probably like either 40 to 50 likes. And so like in that moment, it's like, wow, like all these people that I don't really know, like you're getting like recognized. And I feel like in a way, like I have not had this moment on TikTok, but my friend has, and like I feel like it's just getting that recognition from like all these people that you may or may not know, but just like being like what Brad was saying earlier, like just being seen and being appreciated in that way. Because like obviously like you expect your friends to see and appreciate you, or hopefully they do. Otherwise, I'm not sure if they should be your friends. But like I feel like just having it from people that you don't really know in general, like that's just a completely different feeling. And yeah, like dopamine rush there. So
I feel like it's really controversial actually because there's the people that are gonna say like, "Oh my god, you're obsessed with social media. You're counting your likes.
mm-hmm.
That's so vain." But then on the other
Mm,
hand, for me, music is a performative art, and you make it with the purpose of sharing it. Like yes, music is fulfilling for me too, but I want to be able to share it, and just having the platform to share it with so many people, that is what makes me so happy. Um,
right.
so I like yeah, it was never really about like becoming a name for me. Like that was like sort of a imaginary prospect, and it still hasn't even happened. Even though if I knew that I had 300,000 followers, I'd think I was famous before. But like I don't get recognized on the street or anything. Like that's not what it's about. What it's about is just like when I make something and being able to get so much feedback on it, and like usually it's positive feedback. Like that's really nice. Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I would say podcasting for me has been very similar because if we were to just have this conversation at like Widener, for instance, yeah, that's cool. But there's something about like throwing this out into the universe with the possibility of other people hearing it. It
Hmm.
just makes it that much different and that much more enjoyable for me. Like my thoughts are no longer my own, and I can now share it with people. And yeah, I think sharing again is like the ultimate theme of I suppose happiness. And I know for you, Brad, as well. You know, like you mentioned in the little thing I asked you. You know, you mentioned the ultimate goal of happiness, and I think
Hmm.
for artists that has always been like okay, this is not to like sound stereotypical, but like for business and economy, like they're so fascinated with the idea of financial wealth. But I've always found like artists to be have way more creative measurements of happiness, and I'm curious for you how you found that for yourself as well.
Well, through TikTok, like the my favorite comments ever, like the first time I made a singing video that blew up, it had like over 2 million views or something. It was like it was like a you sing the melody and I'll harmonize behind. I'm gonna give myself credit for starting that trend also because I know it's a big thing, but I had never seen one of those before I made it, and now everyone's making it. So I'm just gonna plug that
Yes,
I think that I
trend
yes,
started
setter.
that. I
Brad.
think I am the one that started that. But anyways, the comments on that one were always like, "This gave me so much serotonin. This made me so happy," and it was a surreal feeling to know that I could make someone else's day better doing something that
Wow.
I found fun in the first place. Like that was the most fulfilling thing for me, and like I would like cry like honestly like knowing that I can make people happier, like that was something I've always dreamed of doing. So that's how I felt. I've kind of forgot what your question was. Oh, happiness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it is. It is
I mean,
happiness.
like, come on, like, we're in a world with other people. We're not here alone. So like, I don't think like wanting to share art with other people it like makes you. I'm so sorry. There's like a sirens
No,
outside.
it's really funny because I hear it through the audio and I also hear it through my own window, so I'm hearing
Yeah,
it
Because we're in
double.
the same. We're in the same.
Yeah,
we're
same
in the same
dorm.
region. Yeah.
Like I don't like I think the point of art is to share it and get your message across. So for me that is really fulfilling and makes me happier. And knowing that I can make other people happier too, that's so awesome.
Damn. Word, man. Word.
Yeah.
um,
Cuz I've
and then
never
for
felt
you,
that
yeah.
like I've never like felt like something that I was doing was making the world a better place before.
Mhm.
Um
Mhm.
so that was a nice feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I suppose like this contrasts actually what you know, like I've always thought, well, not thought, but like, you know, Harvard has a reputation of facilitating people who want to change the world at like a large scale, right?
Mhm.
And something that I've realized as well, because I'm interested in education and I hear people talk about like the infrastructure of schools and like large boards and state level policy change. And for me, I'm just interested with the student, right? I just, you know, if you can like change a student's outcome, you know, that's more than enough for me. And I know people who have different outlooks in life. They their looks of change are different. You know, some people like massive worldwide change and they pursue that. And some people, and I would classify this as myself and perhaps Brad as well. it's those singular individuals that say like you've helped me, right?
Yeah.
Those are the most meaningful and most tangible. Um, but yeah, I mean, like Melissa, for you, I mean, obviously we have different philosophies and everything, but for you, happiness. What about you? No, I was kidding. But I mean, did you have any thoughts about happiness? And damn, this is really getting like philosophical, but I'm curious if
It's okay.
if
I
you have.
didn't get into the happiness seminar, so I'm happy that I have this
Ooh, yeah, there we
opportunity to
go.
talk about it now.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean, like, I guess, like, from a psychological standpoint, though, I think, like, when you help another person and knowing that you were able to help another person, like, that enough, like, in turn, most of the time, it in turn makes you happy as well. So I definitely see how, like, when you're sharing your art form and seeing the impact that it has on other people, like, I think for so many artists, like, of course, one of their goals is to share their own emotions and their own expressions and their own thoughts through their artwork. But at the same time, I think that another big part of it is just like seeing how other people can connect and relate to it as well. And like when I look at other people's arts or their music, it's like, wow, I was able to really connect with this. This really helped me through something or something like that. And I feel like just having that power and that impact, it's like a really meaningful thing. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, so in terms of happiness, like that's just like my thoughts on just like art in general. But
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like I took a whole seminar course last year and it was just on the idea of happiness and how to achieve it. And I think that there's obviously a very like people have all these philosophical views about like steps that you should be taking, things that you could be doing. But I think in a way, it's definitely like it just varies from person to person. People can find happiness in different things because we're all different. And like for some people, this way of happiness might not work for like a different person. And so I feel like you just really have to like for me, I think the greatest source of happiness that I get is from helping other people and doing things like that. And so I think for me, like that's what I want to do in the future. Like I know that regardless of what profession I choose or what area I decide to go in, like helping other people will make me happy in return. But then I know for some people, like you're talking about how with like the business side of things stereotypically like so for some people like financial wealth is a sign of their success and that sign of success that they're doing well like for them that also could be a sign of happiness and so you can get it from like various different places in various different ways and I think it depends on the type of person that you are.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Big answers for big questions, but but before we end off on this episode, I would like to give Brad this ultimate opportunity to perhaps share his philosophy on the greatest singer slash musician slash artist, in your opinion, of our lifetime.
Oh,
Is
my
this like an easy answer?
okay. Like I don't know how to explain it, and people are gonna judge me, but I
No
like
worries.
love Mariah Carey. She's my favorite singer
Mhm.
and songwriter, and I guess it does connect back to the idea with happiness for me because what I think
Oh.
she's able to do is convey her story really well through her lyrics and through her musicality, like no one else can do. And so that's definitely inspired me. That's why I want to become a singer songwriter now myself, just because like music is my language of
Mm,
expressing myself, and I think it can help a lot of people. And it's definitely helped me listening to her. And I know like lots of other people share the same thing, even though she's a bit before our time. Um,
mhm.
yeah, that's just my point of view. Also, she's the best singer there ever was. So
Yeah, I gotta admit, hearing I don't know what song it was, like the one that like goes super high up that I think only Mariah Carey can really hit
yes,
Oh
perfectly.
my gosh.
emotions, emotions.
It's it's a hell of a talent.
Oh, I feel
So
so bad for her because of like the New Year's Eve stuff. Like, uh, you know how like people thought she was lip syncing at New Year's because her sound got messed up.
oh yeah,
Sorry, I shouldn't bring it up because it's bad, but it wasn't her fault, guys. It wasn't her
yeah,
fault.
yeah. Well, was it the national anthem or was it like another? Because I remember there was
No,
like
that
a
was Fergie. That was
that was for
Fergie.
okay, yeah. No, that's a whole nother thing. See,
No, she.
that's where expressionism may be like a little
Uh,
too much.
you could call that expressive, sure. If we're using the term loosely, you can.
Yeah, for sure. Well, great. Yeah, thank you, Brad. That was great. I really do have a different outlook, I think, on well, for one, happiness, TikTok, singing. I really do
Yeah,
appreciate your outlook on life.
No, TikTok gets a bad rap from people that have never tried
Yes.
it. But I
Yes.
highly
Oh,
recommend. But you will get addicted. It's because it's good. Because it's good. It's magnetic because it's good. It's a good app.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well
no, trust
designed.
me. I was that person who refused to download TikTok and got peer pressured into it.
Me
And then
too.
and then when I downloaded it, I was like, I could not stop watching videos for like a solid week. And I was like, okay, this has got to stop. Like I have school. And so like I had
No,
to delete the app to just make sure that I like wouldn't go on it. So
really, because my problem with it originally was, like last summer I was doing a theater intensive, and these kids would like use it in the dining hall instead of talking to people, like just scroll. And I was like, dude, like
mhm,
we're here together. Can we speak? So I didn't
mhm.
even get it until like January or like October, and then I started making videos in January.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh,
and
so
it
it's a
was
pretty.
definitely,
I was gonna
huh?
say, so you had a really like sharp rise to fame, so to speak. Because what you
Oh,
went viral.
it like came in waves. Like there were a couple videos that would like increase the magnitude of my followers by like some order of
Uh-huh.
magnitude. But then it started getting more like steadier once I got
Right.
some more. Yeah.
Hmm. For sure. Cool. Well, I think that about like we're right at, around that time to end off on
Darn.
this episode. Yeah, I mean, if I had my way, I'd have like 4 hour conversations with everyone. I mean, I absolutely love talking to people, as you could maybe guess. But yeah, thank you, Brad. Thank you, Melissa, as well for joining in. But I mean, I absolutely enjoyed it. Thank you guys.
Yeah, this was
Yeah.
super fun. Follow my TikTok at the Big Brad Wolf, guys.
Yes,
Yes,
yes. I'll
yes.
include it in the podcast description at the Big Bad Big Brad Wolf.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Um,
clever.
Yes.
yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. So that was it. Thank you guys for tuning in on another episode of Quarantine at Harvard. We'll see you guys later.
Thanks for having me, guys.